Now, after the fall of the Sheikh Hasina government in August 2024, violence against minorities continue unabated in Bangladesh. In the latest, the house of a Hindu teacher was targeted and set ablaze. The home of teacher Birendra Kumar Dey in Sylhet was set on fire, causing fear and distress among the family and the local minority community. Video of the incident has surfaced showing the intensity and the impact of the attack. As of now, it's unclear how the house was set on fire and no one has been identified yet. This incident comes just weeks after several houses belonging to Hindu families were set on fire in Bangladesh. There is renewed concerns over the safety and security of religious minorities in the neighboring country. They have called for a thorough probe into the incident and demanded stronger measures to protect them and bring those responsible to justice. Those are the visuals on your screens right now. You can see the kind of chaos and panic that is right now playing out on the streets of Bangladesh, especially as the minorities in Bangladesh have been targeted ever since the Sheikh Hasina government fell in August 2024. The violence against minorities continue unabated in Bangladesh. In the latest, we are talking about a teacher who was targeted and set ablaze. The home of the teacher, Birendra Kumar Dey in Sylhet, was set on fire, causing fear and distress among the family and the local minority community. The minority community in Bangladesh is clearly living in fear. And these videos that we are playing out on your screens right now goes on to show what was the intensity and the impact of the attack. It's unclear how the house was set on fire and no one has been identified yet. Therefore, there is very little chances of any accountability being fixed. And this incident is not an isolated incident. This comes just weeks after several such cases came to light where houses belonging to Hindu families were set ablaze in Bangladesh. There is a renewed sense of concern over the safety and security of religious minorities in the neighboring country. While UNO's government remains a mute spectator, these are the visuals we are playing out on our screens right now. The kind of treatment meted out to the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh has been beyond appalling. And to discuss this further, I'm joined by our guests. I'm joined by Suhas Chakma, the Director and Rights and Risk Analysis Group. Good evening, Mr. Chakma. Thank you for taking our time and joining me over here. We are playing out these visuals on our screens right now, Mr. Chakma. It's absolutely distressing to see almost every second day. There is a story coming in from Bangladesh where we are looking at Hindu minorities being targeted again and again and again. And today we are talking about a teacher whose house was targeted, he was attacked, and then his house was set ablaze. The teacher's name was Birendra Kumar Dey and the incident took place in Sylhet. Is there going to be any end to these ongoing violence against the minorities in Bangladesh? Because now it's drawn the attention of the entire world. Mr. Chakma.
Well, I don't think these are going to end. I expect actually the violence against the Hindu minorities, especially their properties and other assets, they are going to intensify from 22nd of January and they will continue after the elections when the post-election violence takes place. So you have to expect intensified attacks on the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh, and the reason being there is a complete impunity for what they do, and whenever this kind of a story is actually broadcast in India, or if an organization based in India is, or making some kind of statements, the government of Bangladesh has been describing this as propaganda or disinformation campaign by India or the Indian Hindu organizations, etc. It's oblivious to completely what is happening on the ground. So they do not deny the incidents which take place, but they will always say these are disinformation campaigns. And I think we have a big challenge at hand from 22nd of this month when the campaigning starts. We have to remember that at this point of time, the people are only filling up their nominations, and the people who have submitted their nomination are those whose nominations have been rejected. They are filing appeals, and one by one, they are being considered, and they will be completed by 20th of this month. And from the 22nd, once the list of the candidates are announced, then they will start campaigning. And in that campaigning, they will basically use the election violence as a pretext actually to commit more violence upon the Hindus, and it's extremely risky.
Community allow this to happen and we be silent onlookers? Because clearly, as far as the Yunus government is concerned, they are mute spectators. Mr. Chakma, there has to be some sense of an intervention. There has to be some accountability that needs to be fixed. What we are playing out on our screens right now is about this Birendra Day's house, the teacher whose house was set ablaze. And what we are given to understand is that no one has been identified. No one knows how the house was set on fire. And this is not an isolated incident. And therefore, no accountability will be fixed. And therefore, this is not going to stop. Where do you feel that the international community, especially in South Asia, if there is a need to make that intervention? A short while ago, we did tell our viewers how Donald Trump did send 2 of its officers to Bangladesh to hold meetings with Yunus over there to discuss the kind of atrocities meted out to the minority community in Bangladesh. So clearly, this has drawn the attention of the world.
We have been raising this issue with the European Union, and we have been particularly in touch with the number of diplomats on the issue. But the fact remains, I think, the number of organizations which should speak up on the violence against Hindu minorities, they are not speaking up, and they have completely maintained silence. It is as if whatever excesses was done by the previous regime or previous government, they are justified, with this current scale of violence against the Hindu minorities. So there has been complete failure on behalf of the international organizations to speak on this issue. And in Bangladesh itself, I mean, the atrocities on the Hindus is actually lost in some kind of data which they publish, and out of hundreds of other violations, they will mention only some small reference to Hindu minorities.
But so Mr. Chakma, I want to interject over there to understand that the elections are due in Bangladesh. Are these killings, all these violence against minorities in Bangladesh has been carried out to instill fear? Because it doesn't look like there's going to be free and fair elections in Bangladesh. We do not see from the perspective that perhaps under the Yunus government there can be free and fair elections that can be carried out in Bangladesh, and therefore there seems to be no end to these violence, especially ahead of the elections.
No, there is no free and fair elections. The elections are being orchestrated, they are being organized, they are shit-sharing arrangement. Please remember, the Jamaat-e-Islami and the BNP, they were partnered in an earlier alliance, so it's a friendly contest. But this friendly contest is being used actually to oust the Hindu minorities, and it's only because of the prevalence of the existence of the the Indo-Bangladesh border fencing that they are not being able to throw out the Hindu minorities. So the aim of this election process is basically to target the Hindu minorities because of their religious belief. So they will continue to take over the lands, properties, or anybody. And I always believe that in Bangladesh as well as in Pakistan, for a Hindu minority and all other minorities, it's a crime to have some kind of land, and it's a crime to have women in the house. And especially if they are young.
Sir, with all due respect, I do not feel it's about property. It's not about the land. It's about the people. It is about the religion that they're hailing from. It is about instilling fear. It's about this really high-handed treatment that is being meted out to try and intimidate the minority community in Bangladesh into silence.
No, there's no dispute about it, but we have to understand one particular fact. That the Hindus have been targeted in the post-independent India, Bangladesh, under the Enemy Properties Act, where the lands of the Hindus are already seized. So you have to remember that the Hindus are targeted because of their religious belief. So that's a primary basis, because you can't take away somebody else's land. You can take away the lands of the Hindus. So you target so at this point of time, apart from the religious origin or the belief, which is one of the main causes of the conflict, they will, what I'm trying to say, or what I was trying to say, is that they will resort to any kind of violence, and apart from the physical violence, because of their belief and etc., they will also target their lands and
so you're trying to say that Bangladesh is no longer going to be a country that is going to be inclusive, where there is equal space, respect and safety for people hailing from different religions and community. Is that what you're trying to say, Mr. Chakma, before I wrap this conversation?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the Hindu population there, in 1800 AD, the Hindu population was 1 crore and 19 lakhs.
Okay.
And 225 years later, their population is only 1 crore and 30 lakhs. Only
It's
in
a worrying
225
trend,
years.
no doubt. It is a worrying trend and there needs to be intervention. I have paucity of time.